All right, I think we're live. All righty, let's see if we get some viewers in. Yeah, we already got one viewer coming in right now. So I guess we could start. So everybody, hello, and welcome to the Nordic Startup and Entrepreneur Community's live stream Thursday. And this is a weekly chat where we talk with entrepreneurs and startup founders from all over the Nordics to learn about their stories and journeys, both successes and failures. And this Thursday, I'm pleased to announce that we are joined by an entrepreneur from Joensuu, Finland, co-founder and one of the boss men at Tovari Marketing Agency. So Joona Kotilainen, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for the invitation. It's very fun. Very nice to be here and discuss about these things.
Good stuff. So if you're watching live right now, we want you to comment below Marketing Maniac so that we know that you're here. And if you have any marketing related questions for Joona, feel free to comment them below and we'll be able to pass those along to Joona and get those answered during the conversation. So Joona, let's just jump straight into this. Yep. I think that everybody can sort of agree in Finland, at least, that from my perspective, is Finland's not really known for being like a marketing country. Like it's not known for having many marketing companies in the past. But it seems like Tovari has sort of capitalized on this gap in the market, and you guys are doing really well. So, I mean, were you seeing the same gap? And is that the reason why you pushed this thing forward and made a marketing company in Finland? Or maybe we should start from your background, from where you started in the very beginning and how you got up to deciding to do this marketing company.
All right. Yeah. So my background is from the school side. It's in international business. I attended University of Applied Sciences, studied Russian business, Russian language, Russian culture, and ended up getting a master's degree also in the subject in international relations and management. And we were thinking with my co-founding partner Jussi Pirhonen is the second guy who established this company, that the Finnish companies are not doing good enough effort on trying to get to Russian markets or trying to please the Russian tourists that are coming to Finland. So Jussi had been running a digital marketing agency for 4 years before we established Tovari. So basically what we did, we just combined Jussi's digital marketing experience and my Russian language and cultural experience into this Tovari Marketing Agency, and started providing services for Finnish companies who want to get their stuff sold to Russia or to get some tourists coming into their places in Finland. But as it happens out with big countries and big things and guns and sanctions and and currency exchange ratios, the crisis in Crimea, annexation of Crimea into Russia caused some sanctions. It caused some fluctuations in the course of ruble against euro. So what happened after 6 months we had been in business, the course of ruble it got cut down by 50%. And the amount of tourists coming to Finland from Russia were cut down like something like 60 or 70% compared to the last year. So each and every one of our customers at that time said that, well, we are not really looking into investing into Russian marketing for the next couple of years. So you better think of something else. All right. So we did. We went back to the drawing board, started thinking of that what should Tovari look like if we minus the Russia out, if we deduct Russia out of our business, what is left. So we ended up focusing on Finnish customers, Finnish challenges, trying to get our customers, more customers in Finland. And we've been doing that for 3.5 years now, and now we're a team of 13 people. So we've been doubling or tripling the turnover every year so far. So going in quite good, and your question about the capitalization of the idea that Finnish people are not good marketers, there's definitely that the talking about yourself or your business or actually thinking about your customers in terms of communication or design or something like that, it has not been that people haven't been focusing on those. People have been probably focusing more on technical aspects of business, how to get this
like
stuff working. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The build it, they will come sort of mentality, but that
Yeah.
hasn't really been working, as we see with Nokia.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. The fall of Nokia
so
is a
where?
prime example.
Right. Exactly. So where are you right now? Are you in Joensuu right now, or are you out talking with customers, or what's your situation currently?
Okay. I was supposed to be on holiday this week.
Okay.
actually, the initial plan was to be on a holiday, but holidays got cancelled for a week since I got an invitation to come to Helsinki to start up a new customer. So I'm in Vallila actually now in this kind of small conference room, and just before I was having a workshop with a new customer that we've started to develop communication strategies for. So got a work trip instead of a holiday, but I'll start holidays next week.
Good stuff. So Tovari, as the agency, you guys seem to have a lot of employees right now. You seem like you're growing. Have you been doing that on your just profits from or revenue from when you've been making client projects, or do you guys have investors in the company as well? How did you sort of build up this big team?
The first idea was to start hiring as soon as possible, because we're two guys we have master's degree in economics, and we know a lot of stuff, or we think that we know a lot of stuff, and we know how to do a lot of stuff, but we also realize that we are not the experts in everything. We know how to do websites, but we will never be the best website makers or the best graphic designers or the best copywriters to that sense. So the initial strategy has been to hire talented people as fast as we can, and as fast as we can by the limitation of how many projects can we do. So we haven't taken any investments in. So we're working on in Finland there's a minimum capital of 2,500 euros. So we put that in, and that has been the base. So we've worked and hired all the people based on the projects that we've done so far.
And so how did you get the first people in the company? If there was no investment, if there was no real capital behind the company, just the 2,500 euros to start the company, how did you go about convincing people to join your team, and then this was a really good idea?
For the first 1.5 years, we didn't take any salary from the company, so we didn't get paid. My business partner Jussi had some savings from his previous gigs or previous jobs, and I got the Finnish government startup funding. It's about 800 euros a month, free cash basically, for the entrepreneur to start up a new project. And for the first year, we basically worked and saved all the money that we got from the first projects. It was about something bit more than 10,000 euros that we had on the bank account. And then we just decided after 12 months of operations that we need someone to do the web design and the graphic design for us. So we hired one developer and one graphic designer, and they did projects during the summer, and we paid them salaries during the summer, and in the autumn we could start invoicing from their work when they got stuff finished. So it has been kind of going on since then. So we've been
very bootstrapped. Definitely, just as soon as you're getting actual revenue, hiring the team as it keeps going, keeps building. Gotcha. And the starting money you were talking about, this 800 euros, this is this starttiraha in Finland, right?
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
And this is available for any entrepreneur with an idea, or how does that go?
There are some prerequisites for it. For example, if you are a hairdresser, so you go into a market which is fully where there's very high competition. So for that type of businesses, they don't give starttiraha because they ought to get business running quite fast if you are doing basic business. But for businesses which have which are a bit riskier, that there is not too many service providers in that section, you can get the starttiraha just to try out new ideas.
Cool.
So I got the starttiraha for establishing the Russia-based marketing company.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure if we would have gotten that if we were establishing a marketing company, just a regular advertising agency.
Right. So it has to be a little bit more unique than just an average company.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I figured. Yeah.
Right. So how has everything been going with the company from the beginning? Was everything just green meadows? Everything was just perfect? Or I mean, what were some struggles that you ran into that you can elaborate on?
Yeah. Far from green meadows at some points, and sometimes I think it always goes. There's there's a very big hill, and then once you get on the top of the hill, struggles, then you see the green meadow there, and then you it's then nice descent for half a year until there's a new hill up ahead.
Nice.
But well, we started just the two of us, me and my business partner Jussi, and ever since that, every time we've hired a new person to come in, it has been the biggest company that I've ever worked for. So working with two people is kind of okay. You just manage your own stuff because you know your business partner does all he can to make good out of this business. Then there was quite quickly there was 5 of us, and now it's 13. And not only in one office in Joensuu, but we have another office in Pori, which has 5 people at the moment working. So every year we are in a new situation, and it always brings out kind of new issues in management, new issues in keeping up to date with the customers, and there's has been a kind of roller coaster on personal development too, since I can't be working the same way I was working when we established the company, because there's now 12 other people.
And how do you manage having an office in one location versus another location? So since you've gotten to that point where you're kind of spreading out the team, how do you guys keep communication going well?
It was actually the starting point of our company. Jussi moved to Pori because his wife got a workplace there, and my wife got a workplace in Joensuu. So we decided that what the hell, we can still do it. That we can establish a marketing company based in 2 remote locations in Finland. And so because we've done it since the very beginning, the infrastructure we've needed to develop use of all the cloud services and Skypes, Hangouts, everything that we can do. We can keep up to date, and we can discuss and do projects simultaneously while we are in different locations. Now that we have 13 people, that aspect hasn't really changed much. We are still using the same cloud-based services for material distribution and this type of stuff. So I think the more early you start utilizing this type of management software for be it for sales or project management or for anything, it will be easier to add in more people once you have kind of processes for doing the management and doing the stuff that you need to do.
True, and it's very low cost too. It's definitely good for startup in the beginning. So what do you see? We go into the marketing side of things. What do you see are some trends that are coming up that you see that'll really change the marketing landscape, I guess, if you could say? Is there anything that's really standing out to you that people should be focusing on as the years progress?
There's a couple answers to that, from my opinion. One is the technical side, like technology aspect. What technologies will there be in the future? What should we use? How would people do searching, for example, from do these assistants, Google Assistant or Amazon's, is it Echo or Amazon's Alexa, sorry.
Right.
These guys, do these technologies change the way people search for stuff? If it does, the marketers need to be kind of wary of those technologies that are emerging. But how do we get our offering into Google Assistant's recommendation engine? That's an interesting challenge that no one has the answer for.
Right.
Like one is the technology aspect, and the another one is more cultural and humane side of things. And we've established this kind of division in our company, or division of interest, that I'm studying more things about humanity and how do humans behave, what do humans do, and how do we get the attention of a person. And Jussi is focusing a bit more on the technology side. So what does AI do, or what do these type of assistants do, and how do we use those in marketing? But in the humane side, from my perspective, I believe keywords like empathy, user personas, communication personas, and this type of stuff that people use more in design, they are falling also into the communication side. So I've been pondering a lot how to get into the heads of people by using the design methodology and design tools, and how to use those as ways to create marketing communications, and how to craft messages based on findings from these persona tools and stuff like this.
And that's a lot of stuff you just named too. That's a lot of stuff that's coming through. One thing that definitely popped in my head as you were just talking with the Alexa, when everybody's searching everything with their voice, how do you get to be the one that pops up on the Alexa machine? That's going to be definitely an interesting place to be in. Just how do you get there? Have you guys been working with anything with this sort of voice search yet, or is it still really early phase?
Personally, I haven't been using these services or getting into those. I'm not sure if our developers at the team probably are more knowledgeable about those issues than me. But definitely that is a place that what we need to consider in the future. I believe that Google search is not a place to type in to go ask questions. So that will be changed to some assistants. You will use voice to ask those same questions. And question for marketers is that how do we get out there? How do we get into the recommendations? Is it by paying? Those might be that there isn't even an option to start paying for ads in those. So it's interesting landscape.
Yeah, definitely. So about you personally, as an entrepreneur, what really sort of drives you to keep pushing this company forward? What kind of makes you wake up every single day and say, I know this is still the right path for me to take? Because I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs who wake up and they're struggling. They have some issues. Maybe revenues are not going so well. But what's for you a way that has been continually pushing you forward?
I have quite big thirst for learning. I've been always very curious, asking questions, reading a lot of books, trying to synthesize information, and trying to find out how the world works, or how do people work, or how does blockchain work, or how does basically anything work. But I've not taken that into the mechanics side. So I'm not opening computers and seeing what the parts do inside, but I'm more focused on the kind of social side. So how do people work within this sphere or something like that? So going into customers, companies, and start asking the same questions again, that why you're doing this business, who is getting something out of this business, why do they think like that? Those are the kind of key moments for me where I get to it. I think that's my comfort zone, to be in the lookout for the new ideas and new learnings. So I've been prioritizing a lot of time on discussions with people. that has been also sometimes a bad thing because I don't get my managerial stuff done if there's an opportunity to meet someone and discuss about some creative ideas or something potential future stuff.
But so, for you, like talking with the customers and seeing that there's the need, that kind of helps you push forward and continue.
So, right. You could say so. Yeah.
And in a marketing agency, I would imagine that you guys, with many different clients, you must have tons and tons of ideas on how you should do a marketing campaign. Is it guerrilla marketing there? Is it some type of growth hack over there? How do you guys end up solidifying what is the exact direction you're going to take on a customer's marketing campaign? I know that's a huge question to ask, but is there any shortcuts that you have maybe for somebody else who's in a marketing agency to sort of pick what is the best direction for that customer so that their marketing campaign's a success?
Well, I'm always asking about goals. What are we trying to achieve here? Be it even if you're going to an exhibition just for a couple of days to talk about your business. So you need to think about what is the goal, that you're going to have many conversations. What's the goal of those conversations? Okay, so you want them to come to your website after the discussion and be inspired about stuff. That end goal kind of in mind, you can start thinking about, okay, what's the journey before that? How do they notice you in the exhibition? What do you hand them? What are the words that you say to the guy? In the smallest scale, it's basically derived from the end goal, but also in larger scale if you think of the whole company, if your goal is to double your income, double your revenue next year, okay, so you need to ramp up marketing. You need to probably start looking for maybe new business areas. You need to do a lot of testing, start using new marketing channels. It's everything depends from the goal, from the audiences that you are trying to get to, from the product offering you have. Basically, it's I would stress out the importance of asking the right questions early, so that you know what you are doing. So not social media is not an answer to everything. Some social media agencies claim that, okay, we do on social media. That's the answer for everything.
Yeah, you have problems with social media.
Yeah, go to social media, you'll get tons of sales. Well, not necessarily. There might be some other channels that might be more useful for your case, but we can't promise anything before we know you well. So that's why we start with all the clients, we start with workshops where we start discussing about these things so that we know where we need to get the customer into.
Very true. Very true. And for someone who's starting off in marketing, how would you go about getting your customers? So how do you find your customers that you have right now? Was it by proving that you had some existing marketing campaign, but I mean, in a startup, that's kind of hard to prove in the beginning, or was it just based on meetings and solid communication? What are some techniques that you've used in the beginning stages to start acquiring those clients?
One of the key ideas we applied when we started, that basically we didn't say no to any customer who was willing to give us money. Right. They were asking that, can you do this? We were thinking just without hesitation, like, yeah, of course. And then we're like, okay, how do we actually do it? We got the deal for this sum of money, and just trying out a lot of things. Early on, because we didn't have any investments in, we just started doing what we could. So I had a photography hobby early on, so obviously photography was one of our main services. I knew Russian language, so Russian language advertising was the kind of stuff that we did. Usually designed web pages and some systems. So there is always always customers that do not require the top-notch top-notch state-of-the-art websites or state-of-the-art marketing communications. And for the early years, we didn't do those because we were not skilled enough, or we didn't have the talent. It was just two masters in economics trying to work out to the world of marketing. But we did, for that money that the customers paid us, we did good enough work. We did good work with the money that we got. So just to get the ball rolling. Now we are not taking in all the customers and all the money that is offered. Some projects are just not a good fit for our company. But early on, we didn't really think about the fit or anything. We just went straight ahead and did the stuff that people wanted us to do.
And what is Tovari's fit? Like, what is the companies that you're trying to work with, or that you are working with today? What is like the perfect fit for Tovari?
We have found out that the companies that we enjoy working with the most, and the companies that have, from our perspective, from our knowledge, benefited most from our services, are those companies that are in some sort of state of change, that something needs to be changed. Be it can be that the company has been going in a kind of, there has been a downturn in business. They are just stagnant, not growing, maybe declining a bit because they are not doing or renewing anything. There we have been able to kind of give out thoughts about how to boost the existing business with modern marketing. And that's one case. The other case is the phase when you have been running a business for some time and you have found out a way, you have found out the product or the service that you know that, okay, if we just ramp this up, if we just kind of start just multiply this thing to larger scale, that's also a place where we have been able to help our customers to get to the next step, to get the kind of leads coming and the business growing.
Very cool. Very cool. And in the marketing world itself, are you inspired by anybody? Do you follow anybody, or do you recommend anybody in marketing to follow some specific people to stay on top of their game? Is there anybody who's really on the top that you personally follow? Yeah,
I have a top three. You could say that I'm following currently.
Okay.
Seth Godin.
Right.
For the first person, a very knowledgeable all-around marketing guy that writes about tribes and communities and storytelling and many aspects a modern marketer should take into account for. Another would be Ryan Holiday. He was the marketing manager of American Apparel. He wrote this book called "Trust Me, I'm Lying: Confessions of a Media Manipulator." Right. Very good stuff, and a lot of it is true, and it's kind of shocking to know, but very nice to know if you are a marketer. Many of the strategies wrote in the book we've kind of unknowingly utilized in our business. How to get your stuff, how to get the word out for your company in the media.
Very cool.
And the third guy, he's a leader, more of a leadership guy, but Simon Sinek has really good stuff on leadership management, finding out your whys and hows and why those things are more important than what you do.
And Simon has a really viral video of him on, I think it was on TEDx.
Yes.
What was it called? Find Your Why, something like that.
Yeah. He's written a book, Start with Why and Find Your Why. Like both of those are good if you are trying to find out kind of meaningful. If you need to find something meaningful to say in your marketing communications, those are the things you should kind of start looking for.
Very true. And then what are your future plans for Tovari as a marketing agency? Are you guys going to continue to keep building different offices in random places in Finland, or are you guys? I mean, what are the future plans for you guys? Maybe in the next year or 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I see that it's growing tremendously, and the team is just getting huge.
Another city is definitely maybe a bit more strategic selection, not necessarily just like we could take Rovaniemi. Rovaniemi is in the Lapland of Finland, and it would make a really big triangle with offices separated by hundreds of kilometers each.
Right.
Probably somewhere in a more populous place. But we've been thinking about opening another office within 1 year, 2 years, and we've been also pondering about the Russia situation. I still speak quite fluent Russian. I have the cultural knowledge, and we still have several customers for whom we do Russian marketing in the Russian marketing channels. Contakte, Yandex, and of course Google and Facebook too, when those are applied. So for the Russia part, we have been discussing that we probably need another guy to take charge of the Russian aspect of the business if we want to do that more often. But it is something that we probably are looking into in the future too.
And are you guys working with any startups right now, or is it mostly established businesses, or how do you guys usually work?
We have both. There's actually a few companies that are working in Science Park of Joensuu.
Okay.
This kind of business incubator, and we're working with several startups there who don't have the kind of any income yet. They are in the kind of launch pits, trying to land the first deals, or trying to build up a brand and try to find out the right customers and stuff like this. So we've been doing website materials, introductory videos, product photography, and stuff like that for those. And
right.
And
then what about the start? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the ratio between startups and established businesses is something like 20-80, 20% startups and 80% more established businesses with whom we operate.
And for the startups who are maybe not close to one of your offices, what do you recommend for them to start off marketing their business? So is there any like tips or tricks that you would give to somebody who knows nothing about marketing and knows that they already have a product, they're very techy, but they don't know exactly how to get it to that customer? What would you recommend?
I would recommend building up stories, finding out a story that is true about your business. I don't intend to get people lying about anything, but stories are something that get through into the newspaper, get through in the media. Stories have a humane element to them. It's not all about the kind of technological aspects that you do. It's not about the bits and pixels and efficiency ratios and stuff like this. If you want to get publicity is more about emotions and what can you do for people, or what have you done for people. Those things are more important than the technological aspects.
So focus more on the value and how it makes people feel your product versus being like it's got 50 megahertz of this and this of that and blah blah blah. Okay.
With many companies, when we have been discussing about personas, who do we need to attract, or whom do we need to serve, there always is in larger entities, larger companies, there's always the technical director with whom the most kind of techie startups are discussing with. But the technical director is interested about of course, the technical specifications. But then the guy who is actually making the buying decision or giving out budgets is usually a manager, like above the technology manager, and he is not interested if you are shooting film in 4K or full HD or something like that, or whatever the technological aspects are. He's interested in payback time and when can he expect the money come back, and what kind of efficiency gains you get, or what is the actual gain of the product. So I think the startup founders need to identify these different personas and think about the way they communicate to each of them. They should. I would even go so far that I would do several different pitch decks and to learn about the audience before I'm going in. So just to see if I'm talking about technical aspects to a technical director, or if I need to talk about bigger picture to the kind of bigger manager or bigger director in the company.
Gotcha. And you were speaking about filming and stuff like that. What about people who have no filming experience? What do you recommend for them to do? I mean, there's crowdfunding, there's all these different avenues for, you have to make videos to sort of sell the product. What do you recommend for them to actually focus on? Is it about making it beautiful 4K, amazing video, or is it, I mean, what is the message you think that they should really focus on when they're trying to sell that?
I think that what is most important is the problem that you are solving. It's if you consider pitching an idea to someone, I wouldn't inflate it with pretty pictures before I'm very confident that this is a problem that needs to be addressed and needs to be solved. Also from the audience's point of view, like if they don't get the problem you are solving, then they don't invest or they don't buy from you. So
very true.
Yeah,
very true. I think that is all we have for today. Got a couple questions in the comments, but you can get to those later after the live stream. So yeah, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Joona, for joining us. You can join us every single Thursday where we have another live stream chat with another entrepreneur or somewhere around the Nordics. And it's good every single Thursday. So thank you again, Joona. Thank you, Nordic startup people. And have a good weekend, and then we'll see you all next Thursday.
Cheers.